This month on Inside COD, we celebrate Black History Month with the Center for Student Diversity and Inclusion. Prairie manager Remic Ensweiler talks about COD's natural spaces and how you can get involved. We visit Willowbrook Wildlife Center to learn about DuPage County's native species and why they matter. And we have another great giveaway. All that and much more coming up on this edition of Inside COD. Hello and welcome to Inside COD. I'm George Brew. February is Black History Month and the College of DuPage is celebrating with different events month long. Today we are joined by COD's Manager of Student Diversity and Inclusion, David Swope, to tell us about the events and why they matter. Welcome to the show, David.
Hi, George.
Can you tell us a little bit about what's going on this month for Black History Month at COD?
Well, as always, we're excited to offer what I call a teaching and learning experience because all of history is very integral to how we learn, to how we understand and connect with, our culture, with our background. So during the month of February has been in existence for over 40 years now. We are celebrating Black History Month here at College of DuPage. And this year's theme is entitled African Americans and the Vote. And that comes from the Association for the Study of Life and History, which was established by Carter G. Woodson, who was actually the founder of Black History Week back in 1926, and then it evolved into Black History Month. And so the core of the theme is to just look at how people of Black ancestry in America have gone from not actually having rights to vote, not even being considered humans in the voting process, and then enduring through that, and now being in positions to vote, to use their voice, and then being in positions of politics and power, and as we observed several years back, and having the first president in America's history to be of African descent. And so, that tells a long story, as well as the work that's been done by a variety of different people in America in terms of the expressions for freedom, for justice, for liberty, for some of the things that, America has stood for. So this month we're exploring those concepts in a variety of different ways at College of DuPage for Black History Month.
What are the hope the students will get out of these events, basically, then?
Well, we have a variety of events that have already taken place. We had a great opening ceremony on the 3rd of February, which was really wonderful. We hear from our president, we hear from the provost, but then we also have an opportunity to hear from our student speakers as well. The president of the Black Student Alliance, Manuel Nardi, he spoke, as well as one of our international students from South Africa, Mahalta, she spoke, and they did a fantastic job, George, in terms of telling their experiences and tying it to the theme of African Americans and the vote.
So it sounds like the goal is pretty much to educate the students as much as possible.
Absolutely. That's
great to hear.
Yep.
And then what can students do after the month is over? What can students do to continue to promote diversity around campus then?
I encourage students to challenge themselves in terms of something that they have not learned or some experience that they have not had that would be outside the norm. To come to my office, the Center for Student Diversity and Inclusion, and ask me questions and even challenge what I can better do to help tell the stories for all of our rich heritage and rich cultures here at College of DuPage.
Thanks, David. Appreciate it for coming on the show, and we appreciate all the work that you do on campus here.
Yes. Thank you, George.
Yeah,
thank you for having me.
For more information on Black History Month and the different events here on campus, visit COD's website. Coming up, we find out more about the outdoor workday from COD's Prairie manager, Remic Ensweiler. But first, here's a look at your COD calendar of events.
Acclaimed international films are being screened at the MAC on Wednesday, February 26th and March 4th and 11th at 1:30 and 7:30 p.m. Global Flicks is co-sponsored by COD's Field Studies, Global Education, and Study Abroad programs. Admission is free to both students and community members. The College of DuPage Theater Department presents Scenes from an Execution at the MAC Studio Theater. The show is running from February 27th through March 15th, Thursdays through Saturdays at 8 p.m. and Sundays at 3 p.m. Tickets are $14 for students and $16 for adults. COD's Career Services is holding a resume fair on Tuesday, March 10th in the SSC Atrium from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. The workshop is free to students and community members looking to learn resume writing.
Are you looking for opportunities to volunteer and love the outdoors? Well, you don't have to look too far. We are pleased to welcome COD's Prairie Manager, Remic Ensweiler, here to talk about the outdoor work activities at COD. Remic, welcome to the show. Can you tell us a little bit about your everyday work here that you do here at COD?
Sure. So I am the Outdoor Lab / Prairie Manager, classified staff in the biology department. So I don't teach classes, but I assist. And I also manage the 40 acres of natural area on campus. There are 3 preserves consisting of prairie, wetland, woodland, and other natural habitats. And we conduct activities to make it the best it can be. So those consist of hand pulling weeds, collecting seed, prescribed fires, etc.
What lessons can the students take away from the programs that they can do in the special areas?
There are many lessons they can take away, and the beauty of these work days and other events is that we can tailor whatever it is to whatever the students' aspirations are. So if they want to go into greenhouse propagation, we can put them in the greenhouse. We have social media accounts, so if they want to go into marketing, we can help with that. And then the main one would be we give them opportunities for on-the-ground ecological restoration activities.
Do you have any future plans for the program? Or are you going to keep everything the same how it's running right now, or do you have anything that we're expanding on or anything like that?
So we're constantly expanding. When I first started about 4 years ago, all I had was a pair of hand pruners and not much else. And since then, we've gotten resources from the institution, so we've been able to get necessary equipment. We've also established student worker positions, so now there are 4 paid student worker positions, in addition to the myriad volunteer opportunities available.
So it sounds like it's growing significantly since you've been here then.
I'm trying to have it grow as much as possible. No pun intended, or maybe intended.
Yeah.
We've had a prescribed fire each season since I started in fall of 16, and that's a very important process. And if people want to learn more about that, they can always reach out to me.
Well, it sounds like everything's going great with the program, and I thank you for coming on to the show, Remic.
Thanks for having me.
To register for an outdoor workday, email Remic Ensweiler at ensweiler@cod.edu. Upcoming dates include Tuesday, February 25th and Wednesday, March 4th. We look forward to seeing you there. Get ready for a field trip to the Willowbrook Wildlife Center to learn about the animals in your backyard. Now here's a look at your community calendar.
Glen Ellen Public Library is hosting a blood drive on Monday, March 2nd from 1:30 to 7 p.m. Visit vitalint.org to schedule your appointment. DuPage Pads is hosting its 14th annual Taste of Hope charity dinner to help stop homelessness in DuPage County. Attendees will sample signature dishes from 25 of the area's leading upscale restaurants. Tickets are $150 per person. For more information, go to dupagepads.org. Registration is open for the St. Patty's Day 5K in downtown Naperville. The run, benefiting Inside Club DuPage and Naperville YMCA, will take place on Saturday, March 14th at 8 a.m. Visit stpattiesday5k.org to register.
Among our subdivisions and business areas here in DuPage County, we have a vast ecosystem that balances both human and animal habitats. We visited the Willowbrook Wildlife Center to get a better understanding of how we coexist with the local wildlife.
The Willowbrook Wildlife Center was donated to the DuPage County Forest Preserve in 1956. There's not a lot of wildlife rehab centers in northeastern or northern Illinois at all, and this is one of the few that is actually county run. As this area has developed and the neighborhoods have grown and the development has increased, we found that we are interacting more and more with wildlife. It's coming closer to our doors, quite literally sometimes underneath the porch or in the attic. We want people to recognize the idea that these are our neighbors, these are animals that we live amongst. They're always going to be here. We are now going to be sharing this space with them. So we really want you to just understand and connect with the natural world that we have here in DuPage County and appreciate it. The vast majority of animals that come through our doors are animals that are injured because of some type of human influence, caught up in litter, hit by a vehicle, flew into a building. So we need people to bring those injured animals into us. We do ask that you call for 2 reasons. For one, so we can walk you through it if need be, but also to identify sometimes the species. We can only take in native species to northern Illinois. We align our mission with the mission of the DuPage County Forest Preserve, and that's to take care of the native wildlife and the native ecosystems, the native habitat in the area. If you found an injured animal, put it into a shoebox, have a towel, possibly even have a heating pad if you can. You bring it into us as soon as you possibly can, and then what we'll do is if it is a wild native species that does need further care, we'll bring it into what we call our triage area. Our vet clinicians will go ahead and assess what kind of further care this animal needs. Sometimes it might just need a little bit of time to recover from maybe being stunned, and we can then release it back out into the wild. Other times it may need a little bit more intensive care. We'll check to see if there's any broken bones, if there's any bleeding that's obvious, or any deformities that we can see that are obvious. We also want to check to see if it seems like it's possibly dehydrated or really thin and unhealthy. And then from there, our medical staff will determine what the next process is. After they kind of start getting back onto their feet a little bit and getting a little bit more of their energy and more of their natural behaviors, we want to bring them out to our outdoor area where they can start to acclimate to the weather again. Then what we're able to do is we're able to take those animals and release them onto the Forest Preserve property where they can hopefully live out the rest of their lives. It's key that we give them an opportunity to be able to survive out into the wild. We don't want to just release an animal in hope. We really want to make sure that this animal is in a position where it's going to be successful. Our permanent residents are animals that are living here with us for most likely the duration of their life. They're here because they may have had some type of injury or trauma that was permanent, and they wouldn't be able to be released back out into the wild. And we call them our ambassadors because they're an opportunity for our community to be able to see some of their neighbors, some of their species that they may not be able to see all the time, and learn about them as well. I want people to recognize the importance of this, but I also want people to fall in love with it. We need to have advocates out there that can speak for those who cannot speak for themselves. And in this case, especially with the Willowbrook Wildlife Center, it's going to be the animals, it's going to be the wildlife. They need to have advocates for them.
For events and volunteer opportunities at Willowbrook Wildlife Center, visit dupageforest.org. Willowbrook Wildlife Center is the generous donor of this month's giveaway. One lucky viewer will receive an embroidered baseball cap and a duffel bag. For a chance to win, simply give the February 2020 edition of Inside COD a like on Facebook. You can find us at Courier TV. Our winner will be drawn on March 5th at noon. Good luck! Thanks for tuning in to this month's edition of Inside COD. Until next time, I'm George Brew.